Hey there, this recap for our Dragonslayer RPG Highfell session number 4. We were back with a full table of players, so we had the characters Waylon, Anerion, Brother Tor, and the Feather, the elven thief, played by my friend Matt. Yeah, so we started off, we were in Thatcham. We had gone back there after the last session because we needed to recover from our adventures. Brother Tor and Waylon and Anerion and henchmen. We also had the NPC Alana with us, who's a half-elven ranger. But we're in Thatcham, reunited. We take care of some bookkeeping stuff, upgrade equipment, like both the war dogs that my character Anerion controls. Upgraded their armor to make them a little bit tougher because the war dogs have been super helpful, so wanted to keep them around a little bit longer. Yeah, and one of the things that happens, actually, this was interesting. In the last session, or the session before this last one, our NPC companion Joan was killed in the Tower of the Rose Quartz. And my character, he was a wizard, and so my character took his spell book, and in his spell book, I actually found a draft of a letter that he was writing to his mother in Threshold, which is a bigger city in the campaign setting that we haven't been to, but like that is where Joan is from, or was from, and I learned through the letter that he has come in search of something to help a Byron, which Anerion ends up asking around and speaks to Truna, the owner of the Wanton Wench, where the party stays. And she knew a little bit about Joan and said that Byron was his brother, which I kind of inferred from the letter, and that he was very sick. And she didn't know with what, but he was very sick. So, and that his mother was a Tanya, and I guess his father disappeared prior to Highfell bursting, coming off the top of the mountain, coming off the top and floating away. He disappeared when Joan was very young. So we don't have that's all the information we have on Joan and his backstory, but my character is rather interested in trying to find out more. He would like to at least be able to inform Joan's mother of his unfortunate passing, so she isn't left wondering whatever happened to her son that went away to help, and maybe even possibly help Byron. I'm not sure what's going on with that, so I don't know if that'll end up becoming part of the campaign or whatnot, but that is something that as a side thing kind of interests my character a bit. He liked Joan. He was a fellow, obviously, caster of the arcane, and he was sad to see him fall. We also go to see the Temple of the Mystics, where we speak with Alan Brock, our contact there, who's also the quartermaster. We want to find a map and of Highfell, maybe even before the thing that happened to it happened. So we meet with him, and this is the first time we've met with him since we started going to Highfell. So he was kind of happy to see us. He does have a map that we get from him, which is right out of the book. So we end up with this map, and on this map, we had actually, as players, kind of forgot that we already had this map, but we'd gotten it a session or two before. So you can see on the map right here, that was this highlighted area was the first tower we'd been to, and then this was the Tower of the Rose Quartz that we've been dealing with. So we have this map. Do we learn anything else from going through my notes here? So I try to take extensive notes so I can keep this stuff straight. I don't think we didn't really learn anything new from Alan. So we were like, well, let's gather the rest of the party and our henchmen and such, and we're going to head back to Highfell. And we do. While we're in flight to Highfell, Highfell shifts locations. So it's drifted to a certain point, and then it'll bamf to another point, kind of reset. At least that's how I look at it. It resets. So it's a little bit further away from us. So it takes us a little bit longer to get there. But we do make it back. We return to our campsite that we have in the woods north of the Tower of the Rose Quartz. And we find Alana, our ranger companion, she finds tracks, like our campsite's been disturbed, and the footprints are taloned, and there's some like bigger, some bigger than even Waylon, who's the party fighter. So we're a little concerned about that. We debate whether we should stay here or not, but then we also figure out the time of day. It's still early, so we're like, well, we should just go to the tower, you know, and then we'll figure it out at the end of the day. If we have to move campsites, we'll move campsites. So that's what we do. I got a little muddled in my last review. In my brain, I thought we'd cleared the whole tower, but like before we started play of this session, we talked about it, and there were actually a couple levels. We'd only done Anarion and Waylon had only, with their henchmen and NPCs, we'd only done the first 2 levels. So we had 2 more levels to go through. So we're gonna we decided that we're gonna clear the rest of the tower, and then we'll explore the dungeon below. We want to get everything cleared above us, so that's what we do. We get to the 3rd floor of the tower. Which one is? I got the map kind of covered up, but there's this room. We come into this room, and immediately we're attacked by these 5 flagstone spiders, which are new to all of us. In this room, that kind of makes it stand out, there's a broken statue of Arcantril, which is the goddess of magic in the setting. So, but we end up fighting these spiders. Alana gets bitten by one of them and paralyzed. So it leaves it up to the rest of us to take down the spiders. We do. We actually find a decent amount of loot. Like some of the spiders had popped up the flagstones in the floor. So underneath those, we found some items, some gems and coin in a book that was written in ancient Common, which is a language Brother Tor speaks. So it was kind of geared towards him. So he took that, and we took care of. We figured it out later. Later on, we find some other stuff which I'll get to, but through the detect magic spell, realized that book is magical. So we continue to explore. We find a ruined scroll library. It's ruined because there's a leak in the roof. And we find another room. I should say this ahead of time, I guess. If you're going to be a player in the Highfell campaign, don't listen to my videos, because there's going to be tons of spoilers and you want to be surprised. So don't listen. If you're a game master, maze controller, that wants to run Highfell, you can listen to, I would recommend listening to the videos, because then, you know, maybe you'll see how we played it out, and you may like something we did or not, and then want to do things differently or adapt something we did. So, but if you're a player, you probably shouldn't listen. I got a bunch of other videos about other gaming stuff. Go listen to those. You don't want to spoil the adventure for you. Anyway, back to us. We keep exploring around and find another room that has a pedestal in it and a broken crystal ball, which my character is devastated about. Like, he hates to see that, and kind of bummed. We dig through a storage room, and on this, I think it was on like a rubbish heap or a rubble heap, there's this dirty cowl, and we take that, and I end up holding on to it to check out later. It just seemed kind of an odd item to be there, so we grabbed that. There's a storage room that we go into, and we're real hesitant, you know, careful, but try not to be, I think, overly cautious, because you can be overly cautious when it comes to worrying about traps, and it bogs the game down quite a bit. But we are cautious because, one, we know, obviously, we're playing a Dragonslayer RPG, old school style game. There are traps. We've already encountered a bunch of traps. And we're squishy. Like, we're 2nd level at best. I think actually at the beginning of this, Brother Tor is 1st level. And so we're real squishy, and we've lost NPCs and henchmen, so we know this is dangerous. But So we fish around. Brother Tor finally just says the heck with it, and he goes into this storage room. He doesn't see much, but when he turns around above the door, there's a ring on. I don't know if it's like sitting on the top of the door jamb. So he snatches that up, and we add that to our pile of loot. After that, I don't know. I think the spiders were the only thing we really fought. Yeah, on that level. So we go up to. We'd found a spiral staircase leading up to the next level. We had to wait quite a while when in game when Alana got paralyzed. She was down for like 5 hours, so we ended up holing up in a room. We searched some other rooms and they didn't have anything, and they weren't that sanitary. So we went back to the room that we came up into and waited there. We had one entrance and the stairs below that we could guard. So and we rolled for random encounters and we didn't get any, so which was good. But then we go to the 4th floor. The first room we come to is a bedroom, and it appears that it's already been looted. We get attacked by giant cockroaches, which was a fun battle. Made pretty quick use of them. I got to use, because I leveled up, and Arion leveled up in the last session, so he got a new spell, and I'm probably going to butcher the name, but he got Sabar's acrid something. I don't remember what it's called now, but basically it shoots like this acid out of his finger, this ray of acid out of his finger, and because he's 2nd level, can do that for a couple rounds. That was real neat because I got in within, that spell works interestingly, like if you're within 20 feet, it automatically hits, does a d4 plus 1 damage, and lasts a number of rounds per your level, so I had it for 2 rounds. I was able to hit one cockroach with it that was already wounded. I think I killed him. And then the next round, I didn't get attacked, thankfully, and I hit another one with it and dropped him. So we worked our way, and then with the rest of the party, we worked our way through the cockroaches pretty quickly. Not too bad. Our next encounter was very interesting. We came to this door. Well, it was a doorway, but there was a force field in front of it. And we had found this shiny silver key earlier, and I tried like just mimicking open the door. That didn't work. So we couldn't figure a way, and it was solid. We poked it with a 10-foot pole. Nothing happened. And we could see through it. And on the other side of the room, we could see another force field. So there was a double-doored room behind us that we went into. And in this room was a gong and a trap door in the floor. And the trap door had a keyhole, so we check it for traps, and there's no traps that we find. So we open it up with that key, and it does open, and then there's I think it was a brass room-covered hammer in there. So what we end up doing is my character bangs the gong, and the rest of the party is outside the room near the entrance, the room with the force field, because we think this might have something to do with it. We've mostly explored the level, so we're thinking maybe this will do it. Sure enough, bang the gong, that force field go down, and Waylon goes in the room. And for whatever reason, he goes in. I don't know if it was miscommunication or just poor planning on our part. I stay by the gong. My character stays by the gong, and the rest of the party stays in the hallway. So Waylon is in the room by himself. So the other force field is still up, and they can see that there's some loot behind that force field. Waylon can see that. So, indicates I hit the gong again. The first force field comes back up. The second one that's blocking the way to the loot goes down. So Waylon has a path to the loot. Unfortunately, this compartment opened up above, and 2 clockwork sturges come down, and they attack Waylon. There's a fight. Waylon is struck. He has to make a poison, or basically they poison him. He has to make a saving throw. I don't have a character sheet in front of me. I wish I did. He has to make a death save, and he fails it and goes down. We don't know. My character can't even really see what's going on. The others see what's happening. So I bang the gong again, and I'm trying to remember how this worked. I think the other force field goes back up. There was a moment where we couldn't really do anything. We had to hit it another time. Eventually the party's able to get in there. which they do, and they start fighting. I ended up hitting the one of the times. It might have been the last time I hit the gong. I go like it rings out in the room I'm in, and I go deaf. And there was some confusion here because I thought everybody else was deaf, and it was me that was deaf. So I couldn't hear the battle that was actually going on up there. I was confused. So didn't just looking through my notes. Yeah, I strike the gong again after Waylon goes out, and both force fields reset. So I had to hit it another time. That allowed the party to get in the room. They do battle. I ring the gong again, trying to get that door open so I can get in there. I think so I can get in there. That's when I go deaf. I have in my notes, everyone goes deaf. It was me. I thought it was everybody inside the room. So it was a little confusing. But when I hit it that last time, 4 regular Sturges come flying down the hallway. So we ended up doing battle with them as well. And thankfully make quick work of them. I think they did bite a couple of the party. I know Brother Tor got bit, and the Feather got bit, and, you know, chipping away at them. And I come out and I'm shooting arrows at them. The dogs are jumping at them. One of the things that happened we didn't expect is, like, I know one of the dogs bit one of them, and half the damage the dog did, the war dog did, went into the character that was bit. So that was, I think I might even hit one with an arrow, and thankfully didn't do a lot of damage. But so we were dealing with that. Eventually we were able to get everybody free of Sturges, and we kill them. We collect the loot. We found some interesting items. We found a headband. It was this leather headband with the face of a bat on it, and a box full of a potion box with 4 potions in it. One of them we suspect is a potion of healing. There was some other stuff too. We had the book. We found some coin, but we check on Waylon, and Waylon is, we're informed that Waylon is dead. He has passed on, which was obviously a blow to the party. He was our fighter. He was our tank. So we were sad to lose him, but like a good player, Steve just immediately starts. We get him a new character sheet. We get him a death certificate, which I think we signed. I think it's over here, or my son signed because he's our maze controller. And you can't read it real well because it's in pencil, but Dragonslayer has these death certificates when a character falls. So Waylon is our first PC to fall. Waylon died of glorious wounds sustained by clockwork Sturges in the dungeons known as Highfell. Could even put the Tower of the Rose quartz on that. And then the date, we put the real date on it and then signed it. So that's pretty neat. So we'll probably end up, before we're done, a collection of those, I'm sure. So we collect up Waylon and his belongings, and we're going to return to Thatcham, which we do. We have a bunch of magical. I do cast detect magic, and most of the loot we found is magical. So we had a quarterstaff that we got somewhere, a metal quarterstaff. That might have been part of the force field loot. So we collect all that stuff. We bring Waylon. We go back to Highfell. We use the funeral pyre rules. So for Waylon, and we ended up dispersing some of his gear. He had some good equipment that he had purchased and magic items. So Brother Tor made out pretty well. He got full plate that was Waylon's, and that book is I wrote it down somewhere. It's a book specifically for well, not specifically for clerics, but what it does is it boosts your wisdom. And he's a cleric, so that's important to him. It takes a week to digest it. So we spend a week anyway, because I'm using Identify once a day to try to identify everything. I collected one of the clockwork Sturges and end up bringing that to the Tower of the Mystics and Alan, and I show it to him. He's very interested in it. So we use that to trade, because one of the items I couldn't really identify, and he identifies it for us. And that might have been the headband of the bat. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Oh, one of the things that does happen is the first item I try to identify is the cowl that we found. And identify is a 2-stage spell in Dragonslayer. So the first part you can use, you can identify any curses. I fail that. So the second part, you have to actually use the item a little bit to identify what it does. And I put the cowl on and I instantly grow a waist-long white beard. I think it was white. And that's part of the thing. So now I have that going for me. The headband was pretty cool. It was called Shadred's Headband of the Bat. And that gives the wearer like a 90% chance of hiding shadows and a 90% chance to hang from the ceiling. So we gave that to the feather immediately. The other thing that book did was it gave Brother Tor a bunch of experience points. So he leveled up anyway, but then the book pushed him like to the halfway point of his next level. So he's doing pretty well. Hopefully he can hang in there and get to 3rd level. But the metal quarterstaff was a quarterstaff +1, which my character took. And the ring was a ring of protection +1, which my character took as well. So now I'm rocking a mighty 6 armor class, so and 9 hit points. So that's pretty good. And I don't know what we did with the shield. Waylon's shield was magical, and Brother Tor took that. So he's kind of like the tanky cleric now. Like, he has a really good armor class with the full plate and the +1 shield. I don't know what we did. Well, that spear +1 might just be in limbo. We talked about giving it to Alana to use, but the feather was trying to negotiate her trading her magical bow for it, but she was not having any part of that. So I think we might just have that in our inventory. But that was our session. Real good session. It was great having all the players at the table. Tough dungeon. This one, it was funny because it's different. Like the first one we fought more undead. This one, it's been a lot of like big insects and stuff. We avoided some things. There was one room that we went to. We could see like green. Basically, it was green slime, but it was like a slime dripping out of the ceiling. We avoided that, got around that, didn't go near it wisely, and we were informed later above board that it was green slime, so we actually got a little bit of XP for avoiding that encounter. So yeah, real good session. Looking forward. I think in the next one we'll actually, because we finished clearing the tower itself, so we're headed into the dungeon, I think, for the next session. Steve has rolled up a new character. He finished rolling up a character at the table, which was great. Dragonslayer, old school, doesn't take much to roll up a new character. So we'll have another fighter, and we'll know more. I'll know more about him at the next session. I know what race he is, but he's going to be a half-orc, which is cool. We definitely need the fighter support in this group, so that will be fun to see how he plays that character. So that's it for this recap, and I'll catch you at the next one. Thanks for watching.